As voted by most of you in our community poll, today we're testing a laptop that cost me only 50 bucks. Well, around $50 to be exact. And no, this isn't some random piece of e-waste. It's a legit ThinkPad with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Yes, 16 gigabytes. Sounds a bit insane for $50, right? Let's unbox it and see if I just got scammed. One reason it's so cheap is a completely dead battery. But on a vintage 2012 laptop, that's hardly a deal breaker. Even if it had one, it'd be heavily degraded anyway. Despite being over a decade old, the chassis looks surprisingly clean. And the keyboard? It's classic ThinkPad perfection. Typing on this feels incredible, easily the best keyboard I've used on any laptop. Aside from the machine itself, we get an original Lenovo charger, or so the seller claims. I don't exactly have an expert degree in power brick verification. Opening it up, I was genuinely surprised by how fresh it looks. Usually, used laptops this old have heavily worn, shiny keycaps, but not this one. It also sports that iconic red trackpoint nub in the middle of the keyboard. It looks kinda goofy and awkward to use, but hey, it's handy if you ever need it. One thing I absolutely love about this machine is how effortless it is to upgrade. You don't have to tear down the whole chassis. Just pop off the hatch on the bottom to swap the RAM. And the SSD slides right out of its side slot like a cartridge. Let's plug it in and power it up. And a bright blue line immediately pops up across the screen. Great. I messaged the seller right away, and thankfully they seem reputable. They promised a full refund if the line doesn't clear up after the 7-day test window. That puts my mind at ease. Aside from that single line, the 12.5-inch IPS display works fine. It sounds tiny, but thanks to those thick retro bezels, the overall footprint matches modern 13-inch laptops. Now let's dive into the specs. Under the hood is an Intel Core i7-3520M. Don't let the i7 badge fool you, though. Intel was notoriously stingy back then, capping it at just 2 cores and 4 threads. That's pretty meager by today's standards. Base clock is 2.9 GHz, boosting up to 3.6 GHz, with 4 MB of cache. It's a 35W mobile chip paired with Intel HD Graphics 4000. That iGPU is actually a solid step up over older second-gen Intel chips because it supports modern graphics APIs, meaning it can run most basic games without crashing, unlike the i5 2400 on my mini PC. Plus, having 16 gigabytes of RAM gives plenty of headroom for multitasking, assuming the dual-core CPU can keep up. Time for some benchmarks. Starting with Cinebench R23. During multi-core tests, the CPU pulled around 20W, well below its 35W rated TDP. However, thermal throttling hit fast, with temps spiking straight to 95 degrees Celsius. Unsurprisingly, the thermal paste was dried dust. After a quick cleaning and repaste, temperatures dropped by a massive 15 degrees Celsius. Final scores came in at 1,626 multi-core and 693 single-core. On paper, this i7 beats my mini PC's i5 2400 in single-core performance, though it trails slightly in multi-core due to having only 2 cores. But wait until you see the actual gaming performance. Next, I simulated everyday use by loading up 10 YouTube video tabs simultaneously. It handled it shockingly well, smooth playback with 0 stutters, unlike my mini PC. Now for the main event, gaming test. League of Legends. Medium settings hovers around 30 FPS. While technically playable, 30 FPS isn't ideal for MOBAs. You really want 60 plus for smooth gameplay, especially when hectic team fights drop the frame rate below 30. Valorant. Low settings frame rates were surprisingly better here, sitting between 60 to 70 FPS. It drops during heavy firefights, but for casual matches, it's surprisingly usable. Just don't try sweating in competitive mode on this thing. Minecraft 1.16.5, Optifine, 8 chunks render distance. Fancy graphics. It pumped out a smooth 100 FPS. That's 5x higher than my mini PC. At 100 FPS, Minecraft is completely playable. In fact, stay tuned, because my next video might just be a surviving 100 days in Minecraft on a $50 laptop challenge. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support future tech experiments. Also, I regularly sell off review gear on my fan page, so make sure to drop a follow there too. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.